The whole world watched as the Soviet Union sprinted from communism to freedom and the free market.
Moscow is a boomtown. If you want to earn $1 million in this country, you can do it.
Communism has given way to capitalism on a grand scale. But Russia's newfound wealth conceals a darker truth. Its paramount leader, Vladimir Putin, has absolute power.
In my opinion, Vladimir Putin is a typical control freak.
Tell your leaders that this regime is criminal, is a police state.
For Putin, it's about power. For people that surround Putin, it's about money.
And the Russian people are letting him have his way.
The masses want a Tsar, and this is no joke.
Join us as we peel back the layers of Vladimir Putin's Russia. It's early August, and the world is about to get a rude awakening. The Republic of Georgia, once part of the Soviet Union, launches an attack to take back the capital of a rebellious province called South Ossetia. But they also attack Russian peacekeepers who've been stationed there for a decade. And for the first time since the end of the Cold War, Russian tanks invade a neighboring country.
If anyone thinks they can come and kill us, they should consider what will happen to them.
But Georgia says Russia started this conflict to punish it for getting too close to the West, and the United States stands by its ally.
Georgia has been attacked. Russian forces need to leave Georgia at once.
How did it come to this? A man George Bush once called his friend, setting Russia and America on another collision course. But those who'd been watching Vladimir Putin amass his power were not at all surprised. I visited Moscow last year during the run-up to Russia's last parliamentary elections. This fanfare is for Putin's party, United Russia, the only party that really counts. The only question is whether this election would be a real contest or, as critics charged, a carefully orchestrated show. This forest of cameras is not just for the convention delegates. We've just heard that in 5 minutes, President Putin is going to address this convention. Now, although he cannot run again, at least not immediately, according to the Constitution, he's coming here to rally his political troops because he wants them to continue the Putin plan. And he delivers a bombshell.
I am honored to head the candidate list of United Russia.
Vladimir Putin signals that he has no intention of giving up power. He'll just swap jobs, from president to prime minister. Konstantin Kosachev is one of Putin's party leaders. You know that it's pretty unpopular in the West. This power grab in Europe, in the United States, people are looking at it with alarm.
I do not believe that Russia's behavior in international affairs is threatening anybody. Why do Americans, for example, need their bases in Romania, in Bulgaria? Why do they need this anti-missile shield in Poland and Czechia?
I asked him about Russia's provocative moves even before the latest violence, like last year's resumption of Russia's strategic bomber patrols off the coast of America and its allies. Why do you think Russia has scrambled fighter jets and sent them close to England and close to the Alaskan coast?
In almost 15 years, there were no flights, and we do not have experienced pilots for these aircrafts.
But why are they going close to England and America? There's plenty of Russian territory they can fly over. What's the point?
The point is that they need to have training in a real situation.
Stop the Cold War. It's our point. We stop it already. Stop the Cold War in your mind.
Gosh, everybody thinks it's Vladimir Putin that's restarting the Cold War.
Not everybody.
Sergei Markov is also in Russia's parliament with Putin's party. What is the state of relations between Russia and the United States right now?
I think now Russia-United States relations are in trouble.
And despite the increasingly aggressive posture towards the United States, the president's bid to restore Russia's pride and power is enormously popular here, even if it does come at the cost of rolling back democracy.
The Putin plan is to keep all the people in their places.
Masha Gaida's party was once a major democratic force, but did not get any seats in the next parliament because the Kremlin kept tightening the rules.
So all these years after the end of communism and all these hopes of democracy in Russia, is it basically just a one-party state now?
It's a state of Putin's administration. Not a party, it's not a party, it's a group of people that nobody knows. It's a group of people sitting in the Kremlin, working there, that are not politicians, that were never ever elected. It's a state of Putin.
And a state of fear for those who dare challenge Putin. For example, former KGB agent Alexander Litvinenko had accused President Putin of silencing his critics. A month later in London, Litvinenko was dead. On the anniversary of his murder, his widow's attorney claimed they'd identified the Russian nuclear plant that had produced the radioactive polonium that killed him. Russian authorities have consistently denied any involvement. Britain has charged Andrei Lugovoy, also a former KGB officer, with the murder and wants him extradited, but Putin's government has refused.
Litvinenko was always trying to poke his nose into places where a normal person wouldn't. So I can't rule out that Litvinenko found polonium somewhere, started playing with it, and had an accident, leading to his death.
And far from being a wanted man in Moscow, Lugovoy is something of a hero. He's even running for parliament. Here, even the wealthiest Russians, known as oligarchs, have discovered that if they're foolish enough to challenge Vladimir Putin, not even their billions can protect them. Mikhail Khodorkovsky was once the richest man in Russia. Now he languishes in a Siberian jail, convicted of tax fraud. Trumped-up charges, says his lawyer, Karina Moskolenko.
He is serving his sentence because these authorities want him to be in jail.
But he was funding opposition groups, anti-Putin groups.
The only thing he wants in his country to have real democracy.
Nothing has done more damage to democracy than silencing Russia's free press and the murder of journalists like Anna Politkovskaya, the country's most famous investigative reporter.
When somebody like Anna Politkovskaya is killed, when somebody like Mikhail Khodorkovsky is exiled and jailed, what signal is being sent?
Very simple. If you kill the most brave journalist, if you kill precisely this person, then others would feel them even more vulnerable, and they would think twice.
Next, Putin's most outspoken opponent.
Fear is the best way to run the country. Fear is for them. But you have to restore fear.
World chess champion Garry Kasparov plans his next move.